It depends on what Bam shows up for me for the Heat. Because, like, I feel like he, as Butler's, like, getting a little bit older, obviously he can still do that stuff. But, like, in a 7-game series, you just would need, like, I'm good at basketball Bam to show up more than he has in previous playoff series. He's had some where he's, like, insane, but then he just isn't other times, you know?
Yeah.
They're also young guys I think have been playing really well for the Heat, which is another thing that is exciting for them. Is
Jaime Jaquez is probably third in Rookie of the Year right now.
I love that man so much.
He's so different.
Everything about just the way he plays does not feel. You're just like, man, he's just kind of going.
Yep.
He's like the 40-year-old doing. He's the new Joe Ingles. How Joe Ingles looks like the Y guy.
That's kind of true.
He's just the next Joe Ingles, but because he is an older
He's
guy.
doing the dunk contest this year. Did you know that?
No.
I thought that was a meme. I literally thought that was a joke. When I first saw that.
He's going to win it. You know that there's going to be something crazy that he's going to win it all.
Like, I had no idea that he was like that kind of athlete until...
Is he our new Ricky Rubio?
He might be. He might be our new guy. Jaime Jaquez. We haven't talked about him enough this year, like at all. Like he's been insanely, like he's been the biggest surprise out of all of the surprises that have happened this season, which there's been a lot. Like Jaime Jaquez being like a legit,
almost
like I don't even know what to call it. Like literally the third best.
The Dame trade, Miami, like that Dame to Miami trade, is fair. It would have been even. It's worth it if you know what you're getting with Jaquez and Jovic sometime. Like you don't want to be like worth it.
Like honestly,
would do again.
He's old. He's really old for rookie, but still, it's just like I thought he was going to be like a decent role player. You know, like might be a little bit better than his draft position, which was 18th, but third. I didn't see that coming. And he puts up buckets. Like he has had a couple 30-point games.
On Christmas, he had like over 30 at least.
Yeah. I think it's
I just remember because it was on Christmas and I was watching.
And he's not that big at all. He's like 6'6", 6'7".
6'6", 225.
Yeah. But he has like post moves like Kevin McHale. And then he has just like the most silky smooth jumper in the mid-range especially, but he's been shooting some threes too. He's just a very high IQ player, can pass the ball really well, has a good feel. And then apparently he's also very athletic because he's in the dunk contest.
I knew that from UCLA. I did know that one from UCLA.
That he could jump?
That he's an athlete, yeah.
I did not know that at all. I thought he was like a Jokic. Well, not that bad, but like, you know what I mean?
Well, and I don't know if I knew that he was like dunk contest against the only reason they're in the NBA is because they're athletic.
Yeah.
Like level athletes. But yeah, I knew that he was swifty. I also think something about just the mane and just the like
facial hair.
It just
Conquistador, works. Is that what you said?
Yeah. That's what it is, isn't it?
I don't know if that's what it's called, but I get what you mean when you say that for sure. I doubt that that's what it's called. Conquistador? What? You're making a face.
It's because I'm getting mixed results. I Googled conquistador facial hair and a picture of him shows. I'm just kidding. That'd be awesome.
I'm sure that would be the facial hair that would show up because you're thinking, I'm sure you're picturing like Hernán Cortés or whatever, the leader of the conquistadors.
From the greatest animated movie ever, The Road to El Dorado.
Is he in that movie?
That facial hair. Yeah.
That's Hernán Cortés? I don't remember that movie very well. So
it's a great movie.
Yeah.
Miguel and Tulio. Oh, the first movie that DreamWorks ever made that lost money because they hired Elton John to make the soundtrack.
Is that why? Just because of the soundtrack?
Well, if you hire Elton John...
What's wrong with Elton John? Like, he's one of the biggest pop stars ever.
That's my point, explicitly. You hire Elton John to make a random animated movie soundtrack? I feel like that's like going to a T-ball game with a corked bat. Like, you're just overdoing it. No, I'm fully aware that Elton John, like, this was peak of powers to Elton John, and you're like, hey, would you make us the soundtrack for this animated movie?
But, okay, so why is...
It's the first one that ever lost money because so much money went into the soundtrack is what I was trying to say.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Not because it was bad.
You're not saying it performed that bad because Elton John was there. It's because they sank so much of their money into Elton John.
Which I don't know if that's true, but I feel like it has to be partially true.
Yeah.
Like he could not have been cheap in like 2003 when this movie came out.
Yeah, I mean, isn't it kind of like, how much did they pay Phil Collins with Tarzan? And Phil Collins is not as big as, Phil Collins is huge, but no, he's not Elton John. I guess that makes sense, though. I thought you were saying that it was like a turnoff for audiences or something.
No.
I was like, why would that would be the opposite, I feel like.
But the fun fact is for anybody that does like trivia stuff, that is the first ever DreamWorks movie that did not make money. That like lost money.
I think I heard that before. But yeah, anyways, we dove way too deep into that. We just did like I don't know how long it was, but it seemed like we really got into the weeds on that one, onto a DreamWorks movie.
It's a great one.
But yeah, so I guess what else we have for today